Hello and welcome back to Cultist Simulator with me, Barden. Right, so as yet, I've only the needs and desires of any other mortal, but what stirs in me. Let's got some restlessness there. We'll pop you up to there. Now, gonna run time on. We need to get back into work as well. Okay, so now Rhaenyra is now a disciple, and straight away she's got a kind of a role. She says, you know what? I think Saliva should be the next one in there as well. So we're going to do that because again we're trying to placate her, given that she saw Rose and Clovette being promoted ahead of her. Now there's less talk about reward for failure around those two as well, so that's a good thing. And once they're done, the likes of Leo and Valcine and Auclair can all be promoted as well. And these guys can be taken into the fold. Okay, so there we couldn't do anything because of you, but we do have a dread coming which will help us in that, although you may capture the dread, so that may not be the best thing for us at all. Okay, so the right one from our point of view got the dread. Subtle fracture there. Now, I believe that does have... Last night in the Great Pavilion above the grey sprawl of the Bounds, a woman who once called herself Theresa Galmier sat on gilt-fringed cushions and offered me a horn cup of dream wine. The wine is imaginary, she explained, but the cup is not. To navigate the Mansus, one must understand the distinction. Perhaps one day you'll join me on the pilgrimage, or I'll join you. So here, let us share a secret. And her breath tickled my ear. Okay. So, you may be something we can use. I'm going to see. We're going to test it out once that's done. I'm going to test if we can use that and maybe get one of these guys even higher in the cult. And stir things up even more. I'm sure. Just pop that in there. Get going. Yeah, so it's all happening at the moment. Going to be a lot of excitement there with, those who are there being promoted, like Saliba is up now. Let's see if it'll work. So, again, Rose in. So Rose has 2 already. Then we can provide that. And now that can go in there as well. Okay. Oh, it won't work though. It's apparently the wrong kind of trapping. Because that would bring us up to 16. That brings us to 10. To result the disciple to a key, I will need knock to at least the 21st intensity. In any case, only the most gifted will be suitable. So, probably not her then, right? She is gifted, or potential, but I believe it's going to be him. So if he went in, then we have 13. That would bring us to 19. So we're just missing 2 then to be able to promote him. So maybe we can advance either this. If we can advance this, then that would be good. But that means we have to advance probably that and subvert it, I would say. Or we can go on some expeditions and get some more lore and give ourselves more options. But we're not too far away from being able to advance things, which is good. for now, we will remove that. We'll remove him as well. And Leo will go in instead. And we'll get Leo. Yeah, we got 8 level there. I started with that with 14. Don't think it makes a difference. I just want to use the extra ones that we have. Work-wise are fine. We got 150 in our bank. Saying 299 there now. Okay. You're going to help get rid of that, which is great because it means that once it captures you, we can grab another. We can grab another fascination there to be able to use on that, and then that does give us the option to increase. Now, I don't think you are a lore. I'm gonna. Let's see. So to combine you, what would it take? Either erudition or an HQ with a library. We could move our HQ to there, but I don't think we want to do that just yet. There's no real reason to do it. So yeah, combining those. So again, what did it say? We need erudition. Okay, so let me first of all grab some erudition. Once I do that, then I'm going to grab a glimmering just in case we need a glimmering as well. So that one is sorted. Now we do want to go to the pavilion for the chance at some fascination. Oh, that would have fascination there, or would have at least degraded into it. Well, we got some erudition, which is not great because we're just studying for erudition now. In last night's dream, I was in the lodge of the Sage Knight, behind the white door. It is difficult to remember exactly how I came there, and the mistress of the place, the woman with the dark glasses, was nodding as if I had asked her a difficult question. Of course I hadn't. I had lost my speech when I passed the white door. How is it that I can speak? She said to me. I didn't come here through the white door. I'm not proud of what I did to come here, so let me tell you about something else. So we can grab that, and then we're going to get in there again because we still want that fascination. To she who was flesh I offer my wounds, to she who was stone I offer this moment, where my old self divides from my new. To she who came from light I offer my secrets, the door is opened. Okay, so Leo is in there. Now we're going to go for all clear as well. Start things off for her. So once we get everyone recruited and up to at least believer, that's when we're going to start on the expeditions again, because we realize now that we went too early last time. So we got some erudition, so we now have 2 erudition. Put 1 there at least for now. Let's get ourselves a glimmering as well. Start that. But now, because we did that, we'll get a glimmering out there. But whatever, we've got to deal with that as well. Something to remember. Start you. Yeah, so imagine there's a lot of excitement in a circle. And probably these guys here, who haven't been brought, into our confidence as yet, are probably wondering when they are going to be brought in. But we probably have arranged meetings with them over the next week or so, and just to touch base with them and let them know that they're in our thoughts and that we do intend. Yeah, look at that, we got a glimmering. Of course we got a glimmering. I recall my dream. This is the lodge of the blue silk, flapping in the winds of the bounds at the mantis' edge, and here it was its mistress, who welcomed me as she welcomed all travellers. Company's nice, she confided, but I still miss my Christopher. 10 years. 10 years are not enough, but we could not have been long together, not without touching each other. And you know what occurs with a long man lies with a long woman. Or perhaps you don't. I hope you don't. I won't tell you, just in case. I will give you a tiny gift. Okay, so we get a glimmering, which is great. Not so great that we are studying for one as well. But we're going to get some vitality as well, though, so it's going to really help with that. We're going to leave that free to deal with you as well. And Claire is now Disciple 2. I'm going to pop in Valcine and get her done. Yeah, so, yeah, we would have, starting pretty soon, you know, over the next week, meeting with these guys, maybe a couple of days. Valcine, maybe like tomorrow morning. You know, again, just to reassure them and bring them into the fold a little bit more. Just make sure that we're not kind of making anybody feel left out and wanting to leave the cult before they've really joined. Okay, so we've got our fiction there. Got a glimmering there, so that can go there. Now, let's delete these two together. Wait for that to finish before we deal with you. Got our vitality, so let's pop you there. And, oh, we got to wait. There we go, until you're ready. You in there. Start that. All I need now is time. Indeed. Right. So you're getting sorted. You're about to finish, so now we can start on the people who've maybe, again, been feeling a little bit left out. So she can move over there. Now. Pop you in there. Right, so Victor friend. So listen. I know we haven't been speaking too much lately, but I got something you might be interested in. There's a group of people who've been doing more than just dabbling in the occult, to be frank with you. And I think that you'd probably fit in, but I will warn you, we tried to go on an expedition. It was a bit of a disaster, but I think someone like you would provide some of the skills that maybe we were missing previously. And yeah, if you're interested, I'd like to take you into my confidence and explain a bit more about that. Imagine at that stage, Victor would acquiesce and say, yeah, you know what? It's been a pity that we haven't been kind of talking much lately, but yeah, this sounds exciting, and it's just the kind of thing that I was looking to do. So let's start that and see how it goes. Right, what are we looking for here? We're looking for provide erudition or use the library. Well, we certainly have some erudition, so we'll provide that. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me. I've found no new clues. Only a little wound, just enough to give homage to the powers that open. Yes, we brought in Victor. He's now got 2 edge. But we're going to make a little gap there so we can remember that he needs to be promoted up a level. Now we're going to get Slee in on the act as well. Start off there. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. Drop that. Now, we are going to, let's see, head back into the Mantis, I believe. Yep, let's do that. Click those. Okay. Let's collect that. So now Slee is in the inner circle as well. And yeah, we're going through the week. Have a chat then with Porter. Say exactly the same thing to him. Listen, we got a nice group together, but I feel it would be stronger with you in it. No despair for you to find, which is good. Okay, what's it looking for now? A glimmering. Luckily we have 2 of those. Okay, give you the oldest one. Yeah, so now a lot of frenzy activity. Some of the people are probably, you know, they've now become disciples, and some of them are maybe, you know, finding it difficult to adjust to the extra responsibilities. Others are reveling in them. And then we have this thing where we're meeting twice a day, where someone will arrive at the church. I will go into the back office, or Father Ted will go into the back office with them, have a chat with them, and then afterwards then we will have what in our cult we're no longer just calling it a ceremony. It's basically a dedication or a mass, and that's happening twice a day at the minute. And each time it's a new person. Well, not really a new person. Like, would have been someone that the guys probably would have met, at least in passing, through us or through the circles that they move in. But yeah, a new person would join the cult then. And there's our fascination. Great. Now all we need to do is avoid it being used for something else. Last night in the billowing blue of the lodge's sage night, I sat on velvet cushions and watched 2 dead contend with shining swords. They came with the place, said the woman who rules here now. The one who once called herself Galmier. I was not the sage knight, if that's what you're wondering. He went higher in the Mantis, long before I came here. My attention has drifted, the swords sparkle like falling water. The dead move like dancers. Okay. Grab that. Yeah, so hopefully that fascination can be used for you. Okay, so Porter is the latest one to be initiated. And then it's Dorothy, right? Yeah. Let's get Dorothy going as well. Well, we can get back into the Mantis as well, so let's do that. Oh, restlessness, that's not good. Although you might disappear now, so it might be alright. Let's grab that. It's a bit of a touch and go moment here. If that goes away, we're fine. Because what I'm worried about is it not going away, then this one degrading, getting picked up as dread, then the fascination. Well, actually, it would have to be the opposite way around, right? The fascination would have to be picked up and then the dread. So it won't actually threaten the fascination at all. So we're fine on that score. But still, it doesn't mean that the one that looks for fascination won't pop up. Okay, so we have Dorothy as well. She's now part of the gang. Next we have Enid. Off up there. Okay, now let's see what it says about these guys here. Rose has sharpened her cunning to a concentrated point. Clavette. Clavette's optimism is daunting. She wields her joy like a hammer. Neville's gaze has grown furtive and his voice is sometimes shrill. He speaks freely of his dreams. Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra commands admiration wherever she goes. She reserves her attentions for those who merit admiration in return. Sleeva's pleasures are taken in a room without windows. His companions return to him again and again, even though each time they are a little less. So imagine that would be probably Elridge and Porter would be those companions, or some of those companions. Leo, a disciple. Leo still yearns to preserve what is good and valuable, but he understands that to protect one's ideals, one must sometimes do questionable things. Elridge is waiting patiently until it's time to knife someone again. Claire rarely speaks. She chooses her words with care. Even her movements have become economical. She is never seen to blink. Valsine is not a machine. We are reasonably confident of that, but because she has been observed now and then to commit quite human errors. Victor is a sly fellow, but loyal. Slee speaks earnestly of his theories to all those who will listen. The stars are tiny wounds, and the sun as a hemorrhage of glory. His poetry is more eccentric than ever. Porter piles his razor and his scissors to the great advantage of his friends. Dorothy is an enthusiastic sort, and I have turned her enthusiasm to her advantage. Okay, so you're on the hunt. That means more restlessness coming. Okay, you're going to finish this turn around. You should do. You're going to find nothing. Okay, collect that. Pop you up there. Let's see what it says about Enid now. Enid speaks softly, and sometimes her gaze doesn't focus on anything visible. She sees things that others don't. Okay, and she's a knock person as well. So she will actually rise rapidly within the ranks. And next it's going to be Sebastian, or Tristan, sorry. Or Tristan. Right, let's get going with Tristan. Okay, that's good. Now, let's pop those two in and get to use that fascination. Okay, which one? There. Oh, good. That was lucky. Last night I visited the Lodge of the Sage Knight. My hostess manifested as an elegant woman with fashionably short hair and dark glasses. No, she admits, I don't need them any more than I need eyes. Allow me my sentimentalities. But you've come here for knowledge, I expect. Here is a story I heard in my Kerisham days. You're welcome to it. But remember me if you come to make the pilgrimage. Okay, so another one there. And back into the mantis we go. Let's pop you in there. Good. Okay, so let's get work started again. Let's deal with this. So Tristan, pop that there. So Tristan can move here. You in there. Start time going. Okay, let's see what Tristan says now. Tristan dislikes distraction. Tristan likes results. Okay, still a pretty straightforward guy. So potentially 3 dread queued up there. You should look for this fascination now. There we go. Then we can start worrying about you, I think. Okay. So you can move in there. We'll read about you in a second. Let's keep going with... Oops. That won't keep us going. You'll be the wrong bit. Okay, there we go. Right. Violet. Violet likes to paint. She is a gift, although she's always been very modest about it. She never puts human figures in her paintings. There are enough people in the world. Right, so we don't need potential fascination anymore, so we're going to go for this. Got a glimmering, okay. The sun and splendor, the hour who once ruled the mantis, was known to walk in the orchard before his terrible division. Sometimes his remnants walk here still. Sometimes I see the chilly radiance of the meniscape through the trees, or the chillier radiance of the sun and rags. Were they to come upon me, it might be my end, but to see them in the distance is a gift of insight. Okay, it's nice. Let's collect those. And now, what I'm going to try to do... Yeah, let's try... Oh no. Do any of those go in there? Invest health past the white door, or follow desire to the stag door. The door of the no. We don't invest health, because we need health for this run. So we're going to have to Gonna have to find our desire. We haven't found our desire yet. Okay. So for now then... Oh yeah. Of course we're gonna invest health. Because health is the one that gets us there. But we need to find our desire to get further on. Okay. I was thinking... No, I don't want to give up health. But I'm not giving up health. Oh, hang on. You stole our... You stole our fascination. Oh, that is annoying. That fascination was being used. Cheater. Okay. Let's pop you down there. Oh, I'm annoyed about that. Because I thought that was a done deal. Pop you in there. Start. Run things on. So now we do have to find another fascination. Okay, let's see. So, Elizabeth sleeps in fits and starts. She rises at dusk to do the things Elizabeth does. Okay, and Elizabeth does. Okay. I'm gonna get you back, buddy. I don't know how, but... Well, I'm gonna stuff some dread down your throat, at least. Yeah, that is very, very annoying. Okay, well, what we're going to do is... I'm going to study them together again. And just hope that we manage to pull a fascination out of there. Okay, Cat Caro. I'm going to put you there. Start on that one. A bright-eyed, watchful woman who recalls her dreams perfectly. So just after this and just 2 more to go for that, and then we can start promoting people again. So we're going to try there. Not quite what we were looking for. Okay, we saw that very recently. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to dream again. Okay. So it's going to ask for it. We may have enough time with that. I don't know. Right, Laidlaw. Got you. Then we move on to... So Laidlaw, you move over there. Pop you there. And put that in there. Then we're going to read of what Laidlaw has to say. Laidlaw has begun to understand the limitations of ingenuity and the power of sacrifice. Okay, we're going to get some vitality there. Over there, we'll put the glimmering there as well. So you're going to look for something, and it's going to be 30 seconds, so there's certainly a possibility to provide it from there. Okay, pop you there now. Last person to be turned into a believer. Start that. Let's have a look at what Sylvia has to say. Sylvia has a detailed knowledge of roof ridges, of the river at low tide, of Irish whiskey, and of conjuring tricks. A fair play to her on the Irish whiskey. There, when was it? A couple of years ago, I think. Myself and my wife went to the Whiskey Museum in Dublin. It's kind of interesting to learn about the origins of whiskey in Ireland and stuff like that, and how like whiskey was invented here, but then basically it's actually it's almost a story that fits this game. So I'm going to tell you the story before we move on, because yeah, I think it kind of fits the lore of this game, the things that people get up to. But in Ireland, whiskey was originally discovered because Irish people used to make a thing called poitín, which is a people still make it till today, but it's kind of a moonshine type thing. And the British had a tax on alcohol, and this would have been hundreds of years ago. Had a tax on alcohol, so the story goes that Irish people used to bury their alcohol so that the taxman wouldn't find it. And now and again they would forget where they buried one of their barrels, and so normally they would just bury it for maybe a week at the most, dig it up and then drink it. But when they left it for more than a year or whatever, the ones that forgot and stumbled across them later, they realized that the color had changed and the taste had changed of it. And that's how whiskey came about. In Ireland it's called Ishkaba, which is water of life. And in Ireland there were a lot of whiskey distilleries. And the same thing would go on, where in the distilleries they didn't like the taxman either. But there was a guy who worked for the Irish tax office, and his job was to go around the distilleries counting all of the barrels to work out how much tax each distillery had to pay. And the distilleries would go out of their way to try and hide barrels by maybe putting boxes in front of them or moving them to buildings that aren't normally used, etc. But this particular guy was from the tax office, was really unliked by everybody in the industry because he had a knack of finding where those barrels were hidden. And subsequently, the distilleries would have to pay more tax. It would cost them money and profits, and they didn't like the guy. But the guy, so at the time, all distilleries were like single distilleries, or like basically you loaded up all your ingredients into your still, massive still, and then you produced a run of whiskey or a run of whatever it was. But this particular guy came up with a way for the kind of the system that the modern way of producing whiskey is based on, which is a continuous still, which means that you can keep going. You don't need to stop the process and start again. You can just keep going with the same still. And it meant that you could produce whiskey at a much faster rate. So this was a great idea, and he went to all of the distilleries in Dublin and in other parts of Ireland, and every single one of them told them flat out that, because what he wanted to do was he had a patent on the idea, and he wanted to license it to the distilleries for them to use. And every single one of them refused just because they hated this guy so much. So then he took the idea to Scotland, where he didn't have any bad reputation over there. They saw the idea on the merit for what it was. Fantastic idea. They adopted the method, paid the whatever patent fee to him, and then it meant that suddenly Scotland could outproduce Ireland in terms of whiskey by a huge factor. And because of that, they could make their whiskey cheaper. And once that happened, then the Scotch then became the dominant type of whiskey rather than the original whiskey from Ireland. So then people around the world then started to associate whiskey more with Scotland than with the country where it actually came from, Ireland. And that's why like Scotch is now synonymous with whiskey as well. But also an interesting thing is that, so the two whiskies are spelt differently. The Irish one has an E and the Scottish one doesn't. So what happened was there was a distillery in Dublin who decided that their whiskey was of a higher quality than all of the other whiskies. And to market as a kind of premium product, they decided to add an E to the spelling of whiskey. So in Ireland, traditionally, we would have spelled it the same as the Scots, without the E. But they decided that because their whiskey was so special, they would add an E to the spelling of whiskey to distinguish themselves from everyone else in the market. But as soon as they did that, then some other distilleries decided, well, hang on, our whiskey is just as good as theirs, so we're going to add an E too. So then, with kind of tit for that type of things, everybody in Ireland then decided that they would add the E because everyone thought that their product was as good as this other distillery, whether that be true or not. And then they ended up with an E on it. And now and again, some of the distilleries in Ireland, like some of the older distilleries, what they'll do is when they have like a special anniversary, so whatever many 100 years or, you know, whatever kind of really big major anniversary for the particular brand of whiskey or the company itself, what they'll sometimes do is they will produce a special bottle that has the label as it would have been back in the days when it was first produced. Then those labels would spell whiskey without an E because that's the way it was spelled back then. But I thought it was just kind of an interesting thing, and the shenanigans that went on around the whole nobody liking this guy and then him having to go off somewhere else was kind of similar. I think it kind of fits into the kind of the little stories that we read in here in Cultist Simulator. So I hope you enjoyed that little story there, and we're going to crack on with things. So let's check there. Got a glimmering. That would have been a fascination. Unfortunate there. We'll grab you and we'll read this as well to just add to more story stuff for you. I recall my dream. This was the lodge of blue silk, flapping in the wind of the bounds at the Mansus's edge, and here was its mistress, who welcomed me as she welcomed all travellers. Company is nice, she confided, but I still miss my Christopher. 10 years. 10 years are not enough. But we could not have been long together, not without touching each other. And you know what occurs when a long man lies with a long woman. Or perhaps you don't. I hope you don't. I won't tell you, just in case. I will give you a tiny gift. We get our glimmering. We then head back in to there. So you can go sit over here for now. Okay, run things on. Right, so that one didn't work out for us. Okay, collect you and pop you there. Got a kind of fingers crossed that we have fascination there. At least now we've got a bit of a clear run on things. Okay, so now you can go there, and we can start by bringing people up to a higher level again. Start that. Right, let's see what it says about Pope. Pope Clifton, I believe her. Now Clifton improvises new prayers, rich with solar metaphors. He still shouts like a soldier and drinks like a sailor. Okay, interesting. Yeah, now we got to shift everyone over this way. Take those two back. We'll give that some time. If we don't get one this time, we'll start a new one and then we'll start studying again, just on the off chance that we will get one the time after then. Okay. So I think we probably need to provide another reason here, maybe? Devotion. Yeah, okay. Let's get ourselves back to getting 3, because otherwise our money is just going to stagnate and we don't really want that. Okay, so here's the chance. Favor from authority. Again, it would be nice if we needed it. Last night I dreamt of the blue silk pavilion overlooking the cloudy labyrinth of the bounds. I listened to the mistress of the place speak about the visitors. The Suppression Bureau come here. Did you know that? I think they hope to recruit me as an ally. She snores derisively. After what they tried to do to Christopher. But their folly is your fortune. I will tell you something that may help you, if the Bureau ever troubles you. So we grab that. We can put it up there. We don't need it, but it's always nice to have. Place it there. Get you going. Okay. And yeah, we'll start that off, but I'm going to end the video here. So I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you're keeping safe out there, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button there on the right, or checking out some other videos here on the left, or perhaps you might even share with some friends.